Funny Bunny. It's a little golden book by Rachel Learnard, illustrated by Alice and Martin Provensen. Long ago, when the very first bunny came to the forest, he didn't have any tail at all. All the other animals had tails and thought he looked pretty funny without one, so they called him Funny Bunny. Squirrel said, "You're just not finished till you have a tail, that's all." And he stuck his nose in the air, twirled his elegant tail in an elegant fashion, and scampered away. Funny Bunny hopped over to the big rock by the brook. He backed up to the edge of the rock, and by turning his head way round and looking way down into the water, he could see a reflection of himself.
"Well, I guess I would look better with a tail,"
Funny Bunny said aloud, still watching his picture wavering in the blue-green water. "You certainly would," laughed Mr. Blue Jay. Funny Bunny turned around quick as a rabbit and looked up. In the old pine tree there were lots of birds. Among them was Mr. Blue Jay, preening himself and spreading out his beautiful tail feathers.
"Oh, yes, you would,"
squeaked Mr. Beaver. He had been listening and watching over the blueberry bush.
"You certainly would,"
he squeaked again. And waving his tail in the most superior way, he scampered away towards the river. Funny Bunny hopped off the rock. Into the forest he ran as fast as he could, and if you've ever tried to run as fast as a rabbit, you know that's lickety-split. He ran by Miss Raccoon's house. Mrs. Raccoon was washing her little baby raccoons. Funny Bunny wiggled one ear at her in greeting, but he didn't have enough breath to say good morning. For Funny Bunny had a plan, and he was in a hurry to see if it would work. Funny Bunny kept running and running. He ran by Mrs. Kit Cat's house. Mrs. Kit Kat was washing her kittens. Lick, lick, lick. Funny Bunny wiggled one ear at her in greeting, but he didn't have enough breath to say good morning. For Funny Bunny had a plan, and he was in a hurry to see if it would work. Funny Bunny kept running and running and running. Soon he saw Mr. Fox out in the sun, scrubbing his tail, his big, long tail that he put in a pail and scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed. He ran by Mr. Fox's den and he wiggled one ear at him in greeting, but he didn't have enough breath to say good morning. For Funny Bunny had a plan, and he was in a hurry to see if it would work. And Funny Bunny kept running and running and running until he was out of the great forest, until he had run across a great big field filled with beautiful cabbages. Not once did he stop to take even so much as a nibble. For Funny Bunny had a plan, and he was in a hurry to see if it would work. He just kept running and running and running until he came to a little cotton patch. Then he looked and looked and looked until he found the whitest, fluffiest, roundest, and newest piece of cotton that there was in the whole cotton patch. And then, what do you think he did? He hopped over to the piney woods that were just beyond the next hill and found some nice, sticky pine pitch. And then, what do you suppose he did? He patted that pitch right on the spot where tails are supposed to be. And then he patted the whitest, fluffiest, roundest, and newest piece of cotton that there was in the whole cotton patch right on the sticky pine pitch. and he sat down faster than you can say funny bunny. He sat and sat. The moon came out and it was late at night. But he just sat and sat. He didn't wiggle once, except his nose, and that didn't matter. And anyways, bunny noses are always wiggling. He just sat and sat, and pretty soon the moon disappeared and the sky wasn't black anymore. It was streaked with pink, gold, and blue, and the yellow sun came up over there, far beyond the cotton patch. Funny Bunny jumped up. He scampered to a rock above the river. He backed up to the edge of the rock, turned his head way around, and looked way down into the water. And there was his reflection. And his tail. Oh, what a beautiful tail. He wriggled with delight, and then he jumped and rolled over. He hopped right through a bramble bush without a bit of harm. He danced a funny bunny dance and said, "At last I'm finished," because his funny bunny plan had worked. He took one more admiring glance at his beautiful tail down there in the water. Then he ran to the cabbage patch. There he had his breakfast. Then he ran on to a garden full of beautiful carrots where he had his lunch. Then he kept running and running and running till he got back to the forest. The animals came from all over to admire Funny Bunny's tail. They said it was the whitest, fluffiest, roundest, and newest tail anywhere, and that he was finished in beautiful style. Not entirely sure what the lesson is there, but I think it's that you can fix your own problems. Who knows? All right. Good night. I love you.